All right, Katya from Cup of Soul Show, we are rolling.
Hi, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Morning, Katya.
Okay. So my question is, obviously, I love chocolate. I think there's nothing better in the world than, chocolate next to wine. It's like chocolate and wine next to neck and neck.
Well together.
Yeah, absolutely, right? So as I'm like watching this, how do you, because you've baked a lot, how do you come up with the idea? Because again, it's like nobody wants just cupcakes. Nobody just wants a plain cake. So especially with the show, because you have the wow factor and everything. So I'll start with you, Krista. What do you vibe off to come up with the idea? Because you have a lot of experience. Do you listen to the client? Is it meticulous, or is it just what the energy that you're getting from the client?
Well, I think you just said it. I think the first things and the most important things is to listen. Listen what the customer is about, what is his dreams, what the flavor profile that they like, what kind of parties they are celebrating. You're not going to do a wedding cake for a birthday party, for instance, or maybe, I don't know, but it's really important to truly listen who the guests are, and in the show and in real life also, right? You cannot bake from someone expecting they are going to like your dessert if you don't know what they like, right? So I think that's really important. And after it's just you pick a few keywords of what they like, and you put them on a piece of paper or in your mind, and you're like, okay, what can I create with those three criteria, right? Including those 2 or 3 flavors. And then I think also with the experience of doing events for over 20 years now in the pastry industry, it's like a muscle, right? It's the more you're doing it, and the more you have inspiration, and the more the creativity is flowing. So I think it's really important to keep on doing those kind of events to just stay motivated and also inspired.
Now, Christina, you're a host, but you're a baker in your own right. So I know, have you ever been tempted where you're like, God, I wish I could participate? Or, you know what I mean? Or you see something and you're like, maybe this should go this way. How do you keep that balance? Because it's not different. Normally a show like this just has, someone who's a host, they don't have the skill set. But with you, I always wonder, I'm like, is she like,
It's such a great question, Katya, because I would say that's, for me, one of the hardest parts of the job, right? Like, is honoring, is challenging and pushing and honoring the vision that each of these like squad members is bringing to life, and wanting to be helpful. Because to your point, like, you don't work in any kitchen, right? Like, you're all in it together. You're a brigade, you're a team, and finding that balance of being helpful and being supportive, but not taking over, because it's not, like what Maya Camille does for the 80s appreciation episode is her vision. And so how do I give it everything I've got to support someone's vision, to push them? Because you can tell, right, when you're like, you got to take it further, you got to go bigger, or this is too expected, et cetera, like pushing them to better their best idea, and then cheering them on, supporting them, giving them some tips, but also the reality of like, there's trust in a team, right? Like, you have to give feedback and then let each member of your team, of your squad, do what they do best, which is why they're there. But you are right. The hardest part, right, is not putting on an apron and diving headfirst in, but rather finding other ways to support and make the incredible desserts that these bakers push out episode after episode as best as they can be. And I think that's 100% what we have in season 2.
Absolutely. Now we'll say that I'm a really good cook. Like, I can cook anything savory, right? But baking, I'm always the girl, like, if I throw a dinner party, I'm like, I buy the dessert. It's just, it's so like, I think it's one of those things where it's just so, where I'm like, I can't do it, right? So what advice do you have for people that are like me? Like, we can cook, like I can grill. I can do all these other things in the kitchen. I have all the tools. But when it comes to baking, I'm like, it's getting ordered, right? So how do I get over my baking fear? Even, my daughter, when she was younger, cupcakes, didn't make them. I bought them.
I think you have to start with something simple, right? Like the power of like, you love chocolate. We know you love chocolate, right? The power of like a lights out, dense, fudgy chocolate brownie is something that's very, very luxurious. And it's also something that's very easy to execute. So I think you have to choose one thing that you want to be the best at, like that you want to perfect, that is both something you can get excited about, which is why I suggest a brownie, that you can make from scratch. I mean, a great dense fudgy brownie with really, really high quality chocolate. We're talking 5 ingredients, 6 ingredients, but no one ever has like a true homemade freshly baked brownie. Like that's a move. It's not like an Ashley Holt 12-tier cake that looks like a cat, right? But there's something really, really, really classy about it. And then you're not dealing with like the sponge of a cupcake and like there's a way to game the dessert game itself. I think you might be a like luxurious dense fudgy brownie, but I'd say choose one thing, perfect it, keep it simple, and make sure it's something that you will be very excited to make and serve every time, because you can taste it in dessert just like you can in savory food, right? If you're excited to make it, if you're confident about making it, it will turn out great every time. Keep it simple.
Christophe, what's your advice?
Invest on a scale.
That's the thing, because you can't cheat. Like you can't go kind of, sort of. Well, guys, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out to chat with me. And again, like this show it's hard when you love sweets, and especially like I said, I love chocolate. I always feel like I need to eat while watching it, because while watching it, I feel like, ooh, I need to go out and get dessert. Thank you so much, and best of luck with the show this season.
Thank you, Katya.
Yeah.
Bye.